It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, the man whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood. My name is Scott Terrell, and the man who wrote those words was a soldier, an explorer, a naturalist, and the 26th President of the United States of America. His name was Theodore Roosevelt. Today we will discuss his life and the attributes that made him such a remarkable man. Most people today often think of President Roosevelt as a very physically tough and strong-minded leader, but the fact is he had very humble beginnings. Although Theodore was not born into a family with financial constraints, he was born in very ill health. Many Roosevelt biographers often label him as a small, sickly child that constantly battled debilitating asthma. His father, however, never let Theodore use this as an excuse, and Roosevelt would eventually overcome all of these illnesses. Because of his asthma, Roosevelt's childhood was largely dedicated to his studies, his favorite subjects being geology, zoology, and history. The study of these subjects largely shaped President Roosevelt's life. His love for nature led him to develop the National Forestry Service and sign into law 5 national parks and 150 national forests. This protected land covered more than 230,000 acres and led Roosevelt to work with men like John Muir, the founder of the Sierra Club in the late 1800s. Roosevelt was once quoted as saying, "If you're asked if you can do a job, tell them, 'Certainly I can,' then get busy figuring out how to do it." This was his motto that he maintained throughout most of his life. He grew up the son of a socialite and businessman in New York City. However, this didn't stop him from becoming a cowboy, the leader of expeditions that went to Africa and South America that brought back specimens for the Smithsonian, and creating the Rough Riders, which was a cavalry unit that rode against the Spanish in the Spanish-American War. The point of this discussion was to bring to light different sides of a president, and that some scholars call the most influential president of our time. From a sickly young boy to a soldier to an expedition leader to president, Roosevelt was a very intriguing character in American history, a man who was responsible for hundreds of thousands of acres of protected land and countless priceless specimens acquired for study. Teddy Roosevelt was a true Renaissance man that was infatuated by nature and knowledge. Regardless of what people think of his beliefs or politics, he lived an amazingly fascinating life. Even though the Man in the Arena speech was written over 100 years ago, how relevant are those words today? We live in a fantastic society where each one of us has our own voice. But all too often those words are those of a critic. I often think about my choices in life. Do they put me in the arena? Or am I the one critiquing the doer of deeds? Thank you.